UFC 320 Cinema. This was such a fun watch. I am a bit hungover, as you can see from the title, but I am in a great mood regardless. I said Jiri Prochazka would melt Khalil Rountree, and that's exactly what happened. If you didn't see my prediction video, we were all in on Jiri Prochazka moneyline. I don't do full card betting breakdowns. I like to put all my eggs in the basket on one pick, so I either look like a moron or a genius. And this happened to be a card where I looked like a smart guy. You know, I thought Khalil would do well on the outside, but he would not be able to stand in the fire with Jiri. Jiri's just different, man. I've said it before, I'll say it again. He's unironically built different. It's not that Khalil has like pillow hands or nothing. It's just Jiri's different, bro. He never got dropped in the fight, and he barely really got staggered, even though Khalil hit him with the freaking kitchen sink. When you hit someone with your best shit and they don't even wobble, especially they start yelling and smiling back at you, that's got to be demoralizing mentally. As the rounds pushed on, as Khalil started to breathe heavily, and it's a fantastic fight, man. I got to give Khalil his flowers too. Khalil is a warrior, man. That was a great effort from him. Obviously, he didn't get the W, but I'd really like to see him stay active. I know he took a lot of damage, so he'll probably have a layoff for a while, but when he does eventually come back, give him another top 10 guy. He's clearly shown he is a top 10 guy. I just thought the rank 4, based on his previous wins, didn't really make a lot of sense since he's now 1-3 against the top 15. But, you know, competitive fight with Jiri Prochazka here. And even his Alex Pereira fight, he had his moments in. So I say put him against Jan Blachowicz. I'd love to see an Alexsander Rakic matchup as well. But Rakic is scheduled to fight Azamat Murzakanov pretty soon here. So I say Jan Blachowicz would be a great comeback fight. If Khalil has to take a lot of time off, it's hard to say who will be available then. But yeah, I'd say give him Oezdamir, Blachowicz, Rakic. One of those guys in the 5 to 10 range of the rankings. I'm really curious to see where he fits into this top 10. He's 35 now, but at light heavyweight, I still think he's got a lot of tread on the tires. He's taken a lot of damage in this loss and the Pereira loss, but I do think he can still beat a lot of the guys in the rankings. This is not the same guy that lost to Ion Cutelaba, to Marcin Prachnio. Like, Khalil has evolved. Now, switching back to Jiri, man, Jiri Prochazka, Prochazka, mate. This has got to be my favorite fighter. I mean, at this point, it's him or Charles Oliveira. It just depends on the day. The boys are back. I mean, Poatan's back on top. It is once again Shama time, and everything's right in the world. I'm so happy with Jiri's performance, man. It was definitely getting a bit sweaty there. It took a little bit longer than I had anticipated for him to go into samurai mode, or I should say Ronin mode. But man, he is just unironically built different, and you really have to have crazy stopping power like an Alex Pereira to put this guy down. I mean, Khalil hit him with the kitchen sink, and he never even got dropped. And speaking of, the commentary for that fight was awful. Specifically, Rogan's commentary. It's like, bro, I get that Khalil's your friend, and I'm not expecting you to have a smile on your face when the dude gets knocked out. You can see he did not have his wide-eyed normal scream when Khalil got put down in that 3rd round. But dude, try to be unbiased. You're not a random hit on YouTube like me. I'll admit that. I got my favorite fighters and I got my bias. I like Khalil as well, but Jiri's my guy. If you just listen to that commentary from Rogan, you would think Jiri didn't land a single strike in round 1 and 2, like he was about to be finished at any moment. How are you talking about Khalil's insane power? Meanwhile, despite hitting Jiri on the chin cleanly several times, he never even dropped him. I don't want to take anything away from Khalil. His performance was great. It's just like, Rogies, come on, dog. You got to get off his nuts a little bit. Like, try to be unbiased just a little bit. But yeah, Jiri is a monster, and so is Khalil, honestly. Also, Khalil Rountree has the coolest custom shorts in the UFC. As someone with Sakyant tattoos, I might be a bit biased on this as well, but those are the coolest custom shorts in the UFC. It makes me wonder too, can other guys wear the custom shorts? Meaning, could like Zachary Reese or Matt Frevola wear those? Like, there are other people with Sakyants in the UFC, so I'm curious if anyone would want to wear them. Some of the custom shorts are very specific to the one fighter, but it's like, I'm sure Brad Tavares or Punahele Soriano, who fought on this card, would rock those Hawaiian style ones that they made for Max Holloway. Probably top 3 coolest custom shorts as well. I love those ones. But man, what a card. I think next for Jiri, I really don't see them giving him that Alex Pereira trilogy. He's down 0-2. It's really hard to get a 3rd fight with someone when you're down 0-2 by 2 finishes. Like, you look at Max Holloway getting that 3rd shot against Volk, and the reason Max got that shot was because a lot of people thought he won the 2nd fight, and he had 2 really good wins after their first 2 fights. Jiri's had 2 great wins as well now after his last fight with Poatan, but he got stopped both times. So it's kind of hard to sell that one. I would really like to see him fight Ulberg. Jiri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg would be insane. I would pick Jiri to win that fight all day. But I imagine they're going to run Ulberg versus Pereira, unless Pereira is just leaving the division. So I think you probably end up doing Jiri Prochazka versus Magomed Ankalaev. I don't know how long Ankalaev will be out. You know, he got TKO'd, but it wasn't actually like a flatline concussive. It was more just like you're not defending yourself. Switching over now to the main event. Poatan is back, dude. So good to see him back on top. How can you not love Poatan, bro? Shama. I know he's talking about going to heavyweight, but personally, I really want to see him fight Carlos Ulberg, at least do one more title defense and then skedaddle from the division. If he knocks out Ulberg, which I would definitely pick him to do, and then leaves, then that opens up the title shot for Jiri Prochazka against someone for a vacant belt. I think that makes a lot of sense from the UFC's perspective. It sounds like Alex wants Jon Jones or Tom Aspinall or someone at heavyweight, but have him fight Ulberg, man. Especially if they can have Izzy in the corner for Ulberg during the fight, you get to profit once more off of the Poatan style bender rivalry. So I think that's the fight to make. You do Carlos Ulberg, Alex Pereira, and then if he knocks out Ulberg, which I would pick him to do, then you let Alex jump up to heavyweight. You know, in hindsight, maybe some of those excuses he was making about the first fight were legitimate. You know, you never want to see a guy making excuses, but when you perform like that in the second fight, I look back at him saying all that stuff now, and I'm like, maybe he wasn't just chatting shit. Maybe he really was not 100% for that fight. Either way, aggressive Alex Pereira might be my favorite strain of Poatan, bro. It was so fun to watch him just bully Ankalaev like that. I mean, he looked overwhelmed immediately into the fight. Even before the knockdown, he kind of brought a Jiri Prochazka energy to that first round. Just a bit more defensively sound, of course. He's certainly not got the Jiri style with the hands down, but it's great seeing him be aggressive like that. This is a huge name on the resume of Alex Pereira. I mean, I don't know where you rank him all time now for MMA, but I think there's a very strong argument. He's the #1 greatest combat sports athlete of all time. You know, I remember Henry Cejudo always trying to claim that title because he was the gold medalist in wrestling and then a 2-division weight champion in the UFC, which still is an insane accomplishment in its own right. But I'd say 2-time light heavyweight UFC champion, middleweight champion, and then the only double champ ever in glory kickboxing. Bro, who has a better record than that as a combat sports athlete? Take the goats of boxing, take the goats in Muay Thai. There just aren't that many dudes who have done it in 2 different combat sports. And this isn't just Muay Thai and kickboxing. I mean, you're going fully over to MMA, which is a pretty big jump, you know? We don't see any of the legendary boxers trying their hand in kickboxing at like age 35 or something. It's just insane. He is a special athlete. It's gonna be sad when he's gone, man. So I hope they do the Ulberg matchup, let him knock out another dude from CKB, and then you let him jump up to heavyweight, clear the path for Jiri to get back to the title. I'm not that excited about Alex at heavyweight, but man, he's earned that opportunity. There really aren't that many contenders left for Aspinall after he beats Cyril Gane, which I imagine he will. With that said, Alex was talking about Jon Jones, so maybe he wouldn't be jumping up to challenge for a 3rd title. It would be a fight against Jon Jones. I don't know. I don't know if they'll end up making that or not. I think one more light heavyweight title defense, though. We should see it. I think that's an easy resume patter for Alex Pereira. I don't think Carlos Ulberg presents a lot of problems for Pereira. I saw he was in a boot after the fight, so it might be some time before he can make the turnaround, but Ulberg didn't take any damage against Reyes. I say run that fight as soon as you can and then let him jump up to heavyweight. He's earned it. In the co-main event, we got Merab Dvalishvili beating Cory Sandhagen. Man, what to say about this fight? You got Merab doing Merab things. Look, this is just not my favorite style of fighter, but he's doing his best to make his fights entertaining. You can tell he's putting in the effort to try to be more promotable, and I think he's growing on a lot of people. It's not a guy that I root for. I've kind of accepted we're just going to deal with this guy being champion until he just ages out of his prime, and maybe Umar, someone comes and grabs it off of an older version of him, but yeah. I don't think anyone's beaten Merab for a bit, man. And I will say something I do like about him is that he has no interest in moving to 145. He's given Volk his respect and saying, hey, man, let me just be the GOAT of bantamweight. I love that. I really don't like everyone jumping up in weight all the time. I like that about Pantoja, too. I think Pantoja at 135 against Merab would honestly be a more interesting fight than most of these contenders. But I think it's cool Pantoja's trying to actually overtake DJ's established #1 spot as the best flyweight ever. And it's cool Merab's doing the same thing at bantamweight. So I think they're going to do Petr Yan next. I'm not really sure who will be next for Merab, but yeah, whoever it is, he's going to beat them. Honestly, Pantoja would be like a more interesting matchup than most of these contenders at this point. Sandhagen goes back into the rankings. I mean, this fight pretty much just looked how I thought it would. Like I said, I don't do full card betting breakdowns, and maybe I should have done picks because I would have got this entire main card right, which is certainly not something that happens that often. I got Poatan right, got Merab right, although I didn't bet on Merab because he was like a 4-1 favorite. Got Pyfer, got Zalal. So yeah, I actually spiked the plus 600 submission prop bet on Zalal. I don't usually do a lot of prop betting, but everyone thought Zalal by decision was the pick after his last fight. Josh Emmett had only been submitted one time before this, but if you look at Zalal's second run in the promotion, the current win streak we're on, we have now, including the Josh Emmett win, 4 out of 5 UFC wins are by submission. Coming into the fight, it was 3 out of 4. So to think he's just like a decision machine when he's only got 4 wins by decision out of his 18 professional wins is a little bit short-sighted. I just wish I put more than $8 on this, but what is bankroll management? And I gotta say, for Youseff Zalal coming off of that Calvin Kattar performance, it was good timing for him to get a quick first round sub. I'm not sure how many fans he won over. He was still getting booed during his post-fight interview, but a great look to secure a first round finish over Josh Emmett, who's still a great name to have on the resume, even though he's clearly past his prime now at 40. Josh Emmett is 1-4 in his last 5, with that one win being the brutal KO win over Bryce Mitchell. I'm not sure how much he has left in the tank at age 40, but if you look at these names, we have Yair Rodriguez, Ilya Topuria, Lerone Murphy, and now Youseff Zalal. Those are all top 10 guys. These aren't awful losses. I imagine you give him a step down in competition. He was ranked 9 for this fight. He was ranked 8. Youseff was ranked 9. So maybe you drop him down to the bottom of the top 15, either an unranked opponent just outside the rankings, or maybe like a Giga Chikadze, Dan Ige. Like I said, he's 40. I don't know how much more he wants to fight. Obviously, he's not going to be making it to title contention at this point, but man's got to make money. So I didn't see anything from him talking about retirement yet. So we'll see. Joe Pyfer versus Abus Magomedov. Man, I know the personality of Joe Pyfer rubs a lot of people the wrong way, but man, in an era with no American UFC champs, it makes me very happy to see a guy walk out with our flag to rep our country. I want to hear those USA chants when they fight in Vegas. So I was real happy to see Joe Pyfer get this win. And even if you don't root for Joe Pyfer, you got to at least appreciate the way this guy fights. I mean, he fights like a dude from Philly. Whether it's on the feet or on the floor, he's hunting for a finish either way. And this guy throws every shot with heat, everything with malicious intent behind it. He's really not trying to go to the scorecards. He's throwing bombs from minute 1 of the fight till it's over. So happy to see Joe Pyfer get this win. I imagine a shot into the rankings might be next for him. I mean, Abus wasn't ranked coming into this fight, but these guys have got to be right in that, like, I don't know, 16 to 25. Just outside the rankings range. Looking at the current UFC middleweight rankings, I wouldn't mind seeing Joe Pyfer matched up with any of those guys from that 10 to 15 range. I think a Paulo Costa fight would be a lot of fun. Marvin Vettori as well. Someone who will actually talk some shit with Joe, who actually has some star power behind them, because I feel like Joe Pyfer is starting to be a name that you see on a main card and get excited for. So great showing from Pyfer, working through some adversity in the first round, hanging in there tough, and eventually getting the finish by submission in round number 2. Now, moving on to the prelims, I'm not going to talk about all of these, just the ones that I care about. So at the top of the prelims, we have Ateba Gautier. I'm ready to see this dude get a step up in competition. You know, I like that the UFC's slow rolling him, and I realize this was a short notice replacement for Ozzy Diaz, but I think we can move him up a bit. You know, he is only 8-1, 9 professional MMA fights, only being a pro for now 4 years, looking at his Tapology page, but I'm ready to see this guy get a little bump up in competition. He's clearly shown he's better than the bottom of the barrel middleweights. I feel bad for that regional fighter that got called up for this, because it's like, obviously you're going to take your opportunity in the UFC, but dude, he didn't look like he wanted to be in there with Gautier. Like, he just knew it was only a matter of time before he was getting knocked the fuck out. So great win from Gautier. I really don't know what this dude's ceiling is yet. I need to see him versus a better opponent to really judge how good he is and how far he can go in this middleweight division. He looks very promising. It's just hard for me to know how good he is when we haven't seen him fight a certain caliber of opponent. So hopefully he'll get a step up in competition and we can really see where he's going to fit in. Is this a future title contender or a guy who's going to have fun knockouts and then get wrestle Patchy Mix. Yeah, cut this guy. He came into the UFC with a lot of hype, and now I feel like no one cares. I really don't care to see him fight in the UFC again. If they cut him, whatever. Edmen Shahbazyan beat Andre Muniz. Great fight from Edmen. You know, he came into the UFC at such a young age. It's kind of cool seeing him switch teams, switch coaches, and have a bit of a revival. I don't think he's going to be a title challenger at any point, but I'm enjoying his fights. Punahele Soriano gets it done on the early prelims. I bet on Puna on the money line, thankfully. So that did help make this a bit more entertaining, but yeah, pretty boring fight. We'll take it though, cashes the ticket. Seeing as my head is still pounding from last night's alcohol consumption, I'm gonna wrap up the video there. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of UFC 320. And I'd like to give a quick shout out to one of the boys that came over for the watch party last night. Homie gave me a Coors Banquet hat as a little early birthday present, and I really appreciate it, man. I drank a lot of Coors Banquets last night. I am a banquet guy. Also had soju and Jägermeister and tequila, and I think a couple Coronas at one point. Hence the headache. This was a great card. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the fights that we have lined up here for October. It's going to be a great month. Got Charles Oliveira fighting. We got the return of Rainier de Ridder, and we got a whole nother pay-per-view October 25th. So I'm real excited about where the UFC is at right now. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of this card and what you think of the upcoming ones. And until next time, let's go for that.
What we do here is go back.
Czech Republic, motherfucker!